Alright guys, what's up? You have been sending me a lot of messages telling me that you're not able to add in the actual items onto your server. So I'm going to show you an updated way to do it. It's actually a little bit easier, and you don't have to launch the game from here anymore. So what you're going to want to do is go into DayZ Commander and find the server you want to edit. So I want to edit my Chinaris. So I'm going to go in and join my Chinaris, which I have just done. I'm going to go all the way into game just to make sure I have it all done correctly and the mod loads correctly. So give it just a few seconds to load in, and I will show you what to do from here. Alright. So yeah, the problem that we had before was when you would enter in your BD file into the website, it wouldn't work correctly. It would just bring up a thing saying you can either run this alone or together or something like that. I haven't gotten it before, but there is a workaround. It's very, very easy. So here we go. And also you don't have to worry about the mods that you're activating. So once you load into game, obviously just wait after this, make sure everything's working correctly. Or when you get in, disconnect, abort, disconnect, and disconnect again. Come to the main menu. In your expansions, you're not going to be able to activate any extra expansions. So if you have a editor mod, what you're going to have to do is actually set that in your launch parameters on DayZ Commander. So that would be in here. I don't know how it looks. I don't really care how it looks because I am able to do it the other way and that still works. Also, alternatively, if you want to activate a mod, you can still start the game like you normally do and have these things activated. Activate your mod and restart it, and it should restart your game if you're going to activate a mod. Single player will not be available this time. I know before you had to use the single player editor to save it again. Just all you got to do is press Alt-E, join your Chinaris map. Okay, I just pressed back for some reason. Alright. Chinaris. Map will start over in Novi. Just edit the world in 3D. And give it 1 second to load in. Okay, so I'm going to put all my stuff in this field because I'm not going to keep this on my server. But before you can do anything, what you're going to have to do is go into Center and right-click on the map and place a center. Also, you're going to have to go to Group and put in a group, and then on Unit. And for unit, it's not going to give you a person anymore. It's going to give you a dog. That's fine. You can play as a dog all you want. Once that loads in and the dog loads in down there, it should show up in here saying that you are now a dog. For the vehicle, you're going to want to go to Vehicle on the tab, New Object, and these are all the things that you can spawn in game. You normally don't want to be spawning in vehicles because you have the map to do that. You don't really need this. I'm pretty sure they all work. I haven't tried, but I'm sure they work. And you can also spawn in gear like backpacks. When you spawn in a backpack, though, the thing is, it's gonna stay on the ground, and you can pick it up, and it's still gonna be there. So, don't really recommend doing that stuff. But this is what you can do. When you're adding in buildings, I'm going to start with warfare buildings just for an example. Say a camp. Alright, so this camp is obviously a bunker. Pretty sure this one's somewhere on Taviana. I don't know. But, yep. This is a bunker. When you move it, it's going to have a problem. What it does is it starts spinning, and it's actually really, really easy to fix it. Once you get it to where you want it and it's still spinning, just edit the object and press OK, and it should go back to normal. Another problem with this is when you're putting it into the database and you have something... Hold on. Okay, there we go. You have something flat on the ground, and it's flat the way you want it. And even with the ground, even though the ground is sloping, it's going to end up looking like this. It's going to be somewhat out of the ground and somewhat in the ground because it has to stay level. So you can't have something like this on your game. It has to stay level. So think about that when you're making your bases. Don't have things that are sideways because it's not going to work correctly and it's just not going to look right. Also, another thing about making bases is when you have an actual, let's see here. Let's just use the factory as an example. If you have a factory and you have it touching another one like this, there's a slight chance that it's going to be like either put off way where you don't want it or up in the air. I can't make it go up in the air for some reason. It's not letting me by pressing Alt or Shift. But yeah, it will go up in the air and you can't do anything about it. You'll actually have to remove it from your database and redo this. So when you're putting stuff in, make sure it's not touching other things. That's the best way to describe it. Just don't have it touching anything else. There are some things that can touch, like let me see here. Like this. If you have a wall, normally if you want to place another wall, and I have a joystick plugged in, that's why I keep on rising up. Give me a second. Make that stop. Okay, so when you have a wall in, let me tab out quickly. Okay, when you have a wall, you should be able to let them touch each other like this, go inside, just so it looks a little bit cleaner and it's not spaced out like this, because this will work correctly. It won't spawn it off any weird direction. So if you want to make a wall, it will look like that. That's fine. And I'm going to move this a little bit. Okay, so you have your wall, you have what you want. Say you want to add in some extra recs, like DayZ doesn't have enough recs already. Go down to the bottom and open up the recs tab. You should be able to spawn in all these. I'm pretty sure I've seen most of them in game. Like things like the Humvee, you know, you see that all over the roads, everywhere. And what else? So say I want a C-130 wreck. This wreck is actually pretty cool. I put it at my airfield. It looks cool, but the problem with that is when you move it, it's going to start flipping crazy. Edit it, press OK, goes back to normal. And then the thing with this, see how you can see under it? What you want to do is actually lower it, and there we go. And then edit it again, and it should be underground more, however much you want underground. That's kind of far, but you know. There we go. It looks better. It's a Crash C-130, and it's not glitched out. You should be able to walk in these things too. But anyways, yes, make sure you're not having things touching, especially because everything will like blow up and look horrible, and you just feel stupid because you waste so much time doing that and have to redo it. Yeah, so have everything spawned in the way you want it. I have everything spawned in. I want it. So all I gotta do is save it as a user mission. I'm gonna save it as tutorial, and press OK. Alright, so it's gonna come back in, and you're gonna be spawned behind your character. If you want to, you can go in and play as a dog a little bit. It's kind of fun to do. But yes, you want to look around all your stuff, make sure it's spawned in correctly, because after you save it, you should be able to see the problems that will probably show up in your database. So if you load in and your wall is flying up in the sky somewhere, obviously you have a problem with it touching something else. So all you have to do is just go back in and move it around so it's not touching. But right now, see, it looks pretty good. There's two walls there, and you can't really tell the difference. C-130 is underground. That doesn't really matter too much. Another problem is double spawning. You can't always fix double spawns because nobody knows why. I don't know why. And what I mean by double spawning is, say you have a barracks and it has doors on it. There's going to be two barracks there, and it's going to have double doors. It's going to be impossible to freaking open. I have that problem on my server. Everyone pretty much has that problem. I think the only way to get around it is actually take this file and put it in as your inside your mission .pbo folder, which is a little bit different than this, and it actually creates a little more lag on your server instead of uploading it through the database. But yeah, once you have everything fixed like this, all you gotta do is quit out of here, minimize your game, close out of everything, and then open up, let let me close this. Okay. Open up your files on your computer. For me, I have to go to desktop and then go into my system folder. What you're going to eventually do is find my documents and Arma2 other profiles. Once you're here, what you're going to do is find the profile that you saved the map under. So say you're playing under the name Blur, like I am. You go into Blur, and you go to Missions, and your saved one should be in here. Mine I called Tut1. So you open that up, and the first folder, or the first file in there should be your mission.bd file. What you want to do first is just open it up and make sure there are things in here. So you can see what you spawned in. There's warfare barriers, warfare camps, and my Humvee, and the Rex. So that should be in there. You can close out. It's all good to go. Just copy it, put it onto your desktop, and then go on to the links I gave you. And the links will be down in the description, so if you do need them again, they should be there. Open up your database and also open up WolfJWolf. Choose the file just like you do before. It should be on your desktop right here. And your Bliss username. For me, it is Bliss407. So I'm going to put that in. Password does not matter. You don't need that. And starting building ID. I normally put 100. Does not matter what you put. You can put 1. You can put 1,000,000. Well, don't put 1,000,000, but you can do whatever you want. Run the script. And this is where everyone had the problem. This did not show up. It just said SQL query can be run independently or together. So now you actually have your file that you needed. So once you are here, you can go back into the database and do everything like you were supposed to before in the last video. Go into building, click on browse real quick and make sure you have nothing inside the browse tab, and it's not letting me go into there, meaning there's nothing in there. Go to the SQL tab and delete everything it says in here. Once you do that, copy that in. You got it in here. It should be all lit up green depending on how many things you put into the server. Sometimes it might not show up green for all of them down near the bottom because you have so many things spawned in. Don't worry about that. Just press go, and it should say 7 rows affected. Go to browse, and then make sure the stuff spawned in. You can see all the things that I spawned in, and it has their IDs. So if you wanted to, say, delete something with... Say you want to delete the UH-60 rec, just delete it here, and also delete it in the instance building. So you should be able to find it in the instance building. You'll see the building IDs right here, 105, which is the same thing as the UH-60 rec. So you would delete that. And this is only if you want to get rid of the stuff. You say delete, and then you also go over to building, and you delete this one too. Now say you have multiple of them. Like say you had like 2 or 3 bases and they're different spots. If you get the world, where it is, it will show the world space right here. If you can find the correct world space, you can actually delete specific buildings. So you don't have to go back in and also delete this or completely redo your stuff. So if you have a glitched out building and it's really not worth going through and redoing it, just delete a single building. But if you really mess up and you want to start over, just press show all and then check all and delete this. Press yes. Once you delete it, it should not let you back in the browse tab, which is not letting me do. Then you go to building and do the same exact thing. You check them all and you delete it. Alright, so once you have it all deleted, it should not be in your database any longer. So you don't have to worry about that. And yeah, so to pretty much go over again, you do all the same things except for the way that you save it. Putting it back into this script thing, it should work correctly. And there's another thing I forgot to mention. When you get in here and this says 1 KB, like if it says 1 KB and there's nothing in here, you saved it incorrectly, and you're going to have to go back in and save it again. So yes, that is all you have to do. If you guys are having problems uploading it the old way, like the way in the last video, you can actually just skip to this part right here where you actually go in and find the Arma 2 other profiles and find your thing under missions and then your map. So you just take that, throw that back into the Wolf Day Wolf script maker, and go into your database and add it back in the way you did before. So that is all you guys have to do. Thanks for watching, and check out my website. Check out our TeamSpeak. Check out our servers. Do whatever you guys got to do. Have fun. BlurGaming.com. You guys have a good day.